PPI, what is that? Producer Price Index fell 0.5%. That announcement out this morning, that is for the month of April. And it's the first decline we've seen in the PPI since October of 2023. Now, it's the sharpest or steepest decline that we've seen since April 2020. What's that mean? We'll talk about that more in a moment. First off, we want to start with the equity markets. This is Wall Street, Dow Jones, our NASDAQ, and the S&P as we open things up for you this morning. And again, just watching the Dow that's climbed 4% over the past month, 13% gain for the NASDAQ, 9% gain for the S&P, and we start all of those in the red this morning. What about the row crops? Let's start with the corn market. Corn down 7.4% month over month and begins the day in the red. December 438, it's off 2.5. To the soybean market, beans have been higher. That November contract, 6 consecutive sessions, opens down 18 at 10.43 a bushel, as we see a sell-off in the bean complex. Meal moving higher. This is really the first time we've seen meal move higher in, well, about 5 sessions. What about soy oil? It's been higher 5 consecutive sessions, but we're pulling back with some deeper losses here. Wheat market, Chicago, and the July after gains in the overnight session down 2 at 5.22 3/4. July, Kansas City, or hard red at 5.19.5. It's down 3.5, bottom of the trading range. And spring wheat, December, half penny higher, 6.09.5. Cotton market, 2 points lower, 68.23. Tommy Grisafi's with Nesvick Trading. And first off, Tommy, let's start with the PPI. I think we mention that from time to time. What's that mean, and how does that impact farmers and ranchers?
Absolutely. So we're talking about producer price index. It's what people pay for stuff. The key economic indicators we look at for inflation would be CPI. We look at PPI, all this fancy stuff. We're really just trying to find out, is there inflation? Yes or no? Seems that inflation is calming, that they said it was a big miss. There's all types of moving parts out there. Probably your viewers are wondering, it's fun you quoted soybean oil. You said soybean oil has been up 5 days. Soybean oil is limit down, lock limit down. Not something we say real often here, but a lot of news coming out of D.C. What are we going to do? Is this? Are we going to be using soybeans for fuel? That's the big discussion. EPA, Trump's overseas. So soybean oil's had a heck of a run up. The good Lord giveth, and the good Lord taketh away. And that is commodity trading, just like we seen a big sell-off yesterday in gold or other markets. Extreme volatility to see soybean oil limit down, meal up, beans, front month beans down 17. We had some great exports today. Notice right at 7:30, if you looked at your quote board, the markets popped real nice. Corn went from down 1 to up 3. Wheat went from down 1 or 2 to up 5. We're now giving that back. Probably all those markets are looking over at soybeans and soybean oil and saying, is that part of us? Keep an eye on canola. I know a lot of you don't have that. You can pull up bar chart, look at a quote of canola. That was really starting to break out to the upside. So all types of price action. Yes, PPI came out. That's moving the outside markets, and then we take it to our grains. Wait till we go on commercial break and come back and talk about cattle. We'll really have something fun to talk about. But look at you, quick on the fly in the canola. That's awesome. Canola really got beat up when China put tariffs on Canada, and it's starting to come back. So tough times for people up north. Their crops that they grow, canola, spring wheat, etc. All the prices are really poor. We'll see if we can claw our way out of here, Tony. That's what I got for you this morning.
Yeah, we had a few producers across the southern high plains that tried to grow. They did grow canola a few years ago. I'm going to say it's 4 or 5, maybe 6 years ago, with some challenges in the wheat and the wheat market, just looking for some other alternatives. First time I pulled by a field and looked at it, I thought, there's a lot of weeds out there, and then got to figuring, well, wait, they're all in a row here. And that's when I learned a little more about the canola plant. So, okay, enough of that. You're right, cattle. What's happening there? We'll take a break and we'll come back and try to put it all together for you. This is Market Day Report. Sometimes I'll tell you what a market has done, how it's performed year to date. And for the next three markets, all three of these have double-digit gains in 2025. Let's start with the one that's gained 10.3% year to date. Live cattle futures. June, however, is moving lower, down 237 lower now at 211.57. The August, $2.70 lower, 206.67. This is after lower trade yesterday. Now to the feeder market. Feeders have been up 13% year to date, but look at these losses. We were talking about $300 or more on every contract back on Tuesday, and now you can't find a 300, can you? August, $297.82, down $4.15, $4.32 lower on the September, and a $4.87 loss on October. This follows $6 gains that we saw on Monday, so a lot of volatility back into the cattle market. Hogs have settled higher this year, up 11.9%, but July hogs, here in the morning action, 102.02, down 42. What's happening? Let's go back to Tommy Grisafi with Nesvick Trading. I know you've been eager to talk about this, so what's happening in the livestock sector?
Well, our good friend PJ Quaid from RJ O'Brien, he's on your show. He's texting me while I'm on TV. He said, Tommy, let him know. Paper sold 5,000 June 220 calls yesterday, and this morning sold 5,000 August 250 calls. Those are option sales coming into the cattle market. I will find out, are those new positions or exiting positions? He said losers, I assume they're getting out. Yesterday, the cattle market in midday exploded higher. Live cattle, feeder cattle, new all-time highs. To note, we have then we reversed and closed on the low. We gapped open lower, went a lot lower. I did notice feeder cattle were down 500. I'm excited to get off the show and go back to my trading setup because it's so busy. But folks who've been involved in this cattle market, you have to understand. I've talked about it with Tony. I've talked about it with Scott. Understand the layers of protection. There's doing nothing. There's LRP. There's buying puts. There's selling futures. Feeder cattle now close to $10 off the high. We have a gap in the August around 284, 284.50. Mind the gap. We usually fill them. Pretty scary. It seems so far away when we're trading 305, 306. All of a sudden, you take $10 off and you say, wow, we could fill that gap in the next few weeks. So not good news to report. It's not where we open. It's where we close. That's where the money is sent back into the exchange. Back to you, my friend.
All right, Tommy Grisafi with Nesvick Trading. It will be an interesting day today. So all I can say is what they say as you get into a carnival ride, keep your hands and feet inside the ride at all times.